photograph in which we were in love, caught in your eyes, waiting for the sunrise. I barely even knew who you were. What did you do? I didn't care, 'cause you were perfect, I swear. But somebody told me that it's over. I know it's true. You made me happy for a while. I remember fleeting times when we slept on top of cars. Now I don't know you, you don't know me too. I remember fleeting times when we watched the sparks so fire. Now I don't know you, you don't know me too.
Well, I've come back into the woodland I was in last week when I made my last woodland video, and of course that was about bluebells. So I made no apology about coming in again and making a second video of bluebells, even though everybody in the world, I think by now, has put a video out on YouTube about bluebells. But this time I decided to do things just slightly differently. The last video was in the morning. I tend to find that the sun comes up quite quickly in this woods, and on days can be quite harsh as well. So I've decided to come here in the evening, and I'm just waiting for that sun to come down a bit lower so we can get a softer, warmer light, and hopefully it's going to come out in the pictures. So we're going to walk around as normal, but on this occasion I want to show you how I build a composition in the woodlands. I want to start with what catches my eye, what I can do to build around that and make that into a composition, and then finally how I actually take that image and the settings that I'm using. Now, we all have our own ways of doing things. You know, there's no right or wrong way. It's what your eye sees and what you feel. That is what photography is all about. It's subjective. It's an art form, and it's something we should be proud of being able to do. But if the way I do things helps anyone, then all the better. So I think we need to let the sun come down a bit more before we actually start taking pictures, and then the action will begin. I'm going to go for my water. Right, composition number one. This is what caught my eye initially. Just this bit of old tree, but if you look now, the sun's coming down, so it's actually causing some leading lines into the image, which can give us depth as well. So what I've done, I want to incorporate, it's like a little avenue of trees going that way. So I want to incorporate those trees, and then right at the end, we've got some nice leaves with some beautiful light coming onto them. That to me, I think would make a nice composition. So we've got this here, we've got the bluebells at the front, bit of foreground interest, leading through with the light rays, and then we've got that green, lovely greenness at the end. So let's take that. So just to recap, what we saw was the remainder of that tree there. That's the initial thing that caught my eye. But we're lucky enough at the moment where the sun is coming down and it's causing just not rays of light, but we've got light and shadows coming towards us, which is going to give us the depth into the image. We've also got this batch of bluebells right at the front, so this is going to be our foreground interest along with the remainder of the tree. Then we're going to be led into the image by the light rays, and then that sort of avenue of trees, and we're going to be resolving the picture at the end with those leaves with that nice light shining through. I'm going to do this at f11 because I want to try and keep that sharpness, but because the sun's coming down now, it's actually giving me glare within the actual picture itself. So I've got to use my hand, as I've done before, as an extended lens hood. They cut those rays out. So I'll just take that I hope my hand doesn't go into the picture. No, it hasn't. What have we got? I think that looks quite lovely. Number one. I shall put it on the screen for you now. Let me know what you think in the comments. All right.
Step outside and I look at the sky as it rolls on by, oblivious to my life. I stare at my reflection in the moon, watch the stars as they sing, far too far away from me to hear if they mean a thing. Do you ever feel power over me? I'm the sand and you're the sea. Enough songs in my pretty short life to know both love and cruelty stand the test of time. The lyricists borrow from the novelist's lines, an epistolary notion I claim as mine. I've read enough books in my full view.
I've just seen a lovely little scene here. I'm a bit of a sucker for trees that have fallen over and branches on the ground, especially when the foliage grows up around it. And on this occasion, we've got the bluebells. So what I want to do is I want to capture this scene. So I've got some bluebells on this side, the branch that's fallen down, and then we've got some bluebells behind that. But to give it more depth, I want to capture some of those trees in the background with the green leaves, which are just nicely darkening off nicely. So what I'm going to do this at 6.3 because what I don't want the whole frame in focus. I just want the initial forefront, the foreground, to be sharp. So I'm going to do 6.3 aperture. That's going to allow me to keep that fallen tree sharp, these bluebells in the front and the bluebells just behind sharp, but it's going to soften out the background beautifully because we want the focus of the image to be on that tree and these bluebells. I have got the branch or the trunk just, it's sort of curving down a bit, so I've got it curving down to the bottom left hand corner. So I'm just going to focus that in, and then we'll take that and we'll see what we have. We will see what we see. And I like what I see. Yeah, let me know what you think. I've got a nice little bit of a composition going on here. What we've got, and there's not a bluebell on site actually, but I like it. We've got this foreground segment here, which is part of a tree that's fallen down. And then we have, in the middle of what's going to be the composition, we've got just the stump of a tree that's still there. But in the foreground, what we have is just a natural backdrop for the image itself. So we've got all those trees, and there's the nice light falling onto those trees, and there's a little bit of light falling onto the foreground of this bit of tree that's fallen down as well. So I'm going to take that one now. I've already got the composition set in how I want it. I'm going to be doing this at f11. I've also brought the tripod down. I've got a new tripod too. I'll tell you about that in a minute. I didn't want to buy it, I just had to buy it. So I'm just going to take that. So what this does, this foreground one and the one in the middle is just giving us more depth into the image. And then we've got that natural backdrop with the light coming through. It's just a really lovely woodland scene. And it's a woodland scene that tells a story of this part of the woodland. Springtime really is a beautiful time of year, especially in certain woodlands like this where we get all the bluebells. The bluebells really make a difference. They just bring that extra life, that extra beauty to the woodland floor. After this we've got summer, and summer for this woodland isn't very exciting, to be honest with you. So I shan't really be venturing into this woodland in the summertime. The next time I'll be here will be autumn, because autumn is absolutely tremendous. It's beautiful in this woodland. If you catch it at a certain time, then this woodland is like a wonderland. It just goes, all the leaves just go yellow, and once they're falling on the floor as well, it is just like a wonderland. You're just walking into this magical world. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy the bluebells in the spring. It's nice to see the woodland bursting back into life after it's had a layoff over winter, while it rejuvenates and recuperates. I shall just have a bit more water. I have no coffee today, and then we shall crack on. I think this is going to be my last image of the day, because the sun has gone down in the woodlands now, and so it's getting quite dark, and my voice is going for some reason. I don't know why. Probably because I need food and coffee, but not necessarily in that order. But before I go, what I'm going to do, I told you about my new tripod, didn't I? The reason I've got this tripod, I had to buy one quickly, because my last tripod, for some reason, the ball head broke last time I was in this woodland, and it just wouldn't hold the camera, and it was just impossible to use. So I had to quickly buy one, and I went for the Sume. It's a Q555. So this is my first outing out with this tripod, and as always, we've got an aeroplane flying over. This is the flight path to Luton and out, so we get quite a lot, not about every 5 minutes, to be honest with you, so I'll be careful how I film. But before I go, I've got this image here that I love. I call it a bit of layering system, really. We've got this lovely tree. I'm going to show you. Right, this is what we have, and I really like this. We've got this tree here, but look how the branches are coming down in that sort of shape there, and just lying below it are all the bluebells, and I think the colour contrast between those two, it looks fabulous. I really like it, so I'm going to keep this tree here to the, where are we? The right hand side of the image. So that'd be that third on the right hand side. And then these branches are going to drift over the rest of the frame, and underneath we're going to have a bit of separation between the leaves and the bluebells. So we've got those two layers there. And I think that's going to make a really, really nice image. Even though we've got no light coming in now, the light's going to be even, so it's going to be still nice. Let's do it. So for this one, I have got the composition set up. I've got that separation between the tree and the bluebells, just a very thin layer of separation. Just in front of that tree, there's like an old stump that's rotted away, but it's got lots of moss on it, which is quite nice. So I'm keeping that in the image because that's going to be a little bit of a foreground to it. And we'll just take that and just focus in. I'm going to be doing this at f11. Just for this one, I want the sharpness across the frame. Let's give us 1.6 second exposure time. I'm happy with that. I'm going to stick that on this screen now for you. If you like it, let me know what you think in the comments. I really do appreciate people's opinion on what I'm doing. I know I like what I'm doing most of the time, but do you? That's the thing. Okay, it's coming up now.
Laying on the beach, looking at the stars, strumming tunes on mama's old guitar, or sitting in the back seat of your car. Doesn't matter, all I'm thinking is tonight is ours. And when we're walking by the sun's bright glare, the sounds of cars and people out there, well, they're all rushing, going nowhere. Never mind them, let's stay here, cause we got time to spare. Someday we'll fall like autumn leaves. I'm wearing my heart on my sleeve. And if I fall for you, will you fall for me? Why don't we fall like autumn leaves?
Well, I think I'm going to call it a day there. The sun's starting to come down now, so I'm not going to get much more light in this area of the woodlands because the canopy is going to block it all out. But I hope where I explained where I get the compositions, I hope it sort of helped, and I hope you understood what I was saying. Everyone's got their own way, as I said earlier, but the best thing to do is just keep everything simplistic. Get the aperture you want. Even if you want the softness at the front or around the edges and the center sharp, that's fine. Not everything in the image has to be pin sharp. It really doesn't, you know, because if you soften out the background, it's going to create a bit more emotion than if it was really, really sharp. But that's again down to subjective, whatever. But anyway, I'm going to go because I'm getting hungry. I need some food. And most of all, I need some coffee as well. So I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please consider subscribing and pressing the notification buttons. Share if you want to. And I will see you next time. See you later.
That city on the morning flight, and right then you decided I wasn't in your life any longer, like you'd be stronger. All those years of knowing how to feel when you met me under the simple sky.